folks, and welcome to their Saturday morning Samoflange. I'm Matt, and I'm the only one here. Yep, Mikey was supposed to be here, but he's not feeling well. Went to the Royal Rumble, didn't feel well afterwards, and yeah. And then we also have a winter warning, whatever that means. Winter warning storm or whatever. It's not gonna, it could ice. It could, maybe. I'm sure the schools are all closed because down south, any hint of snow or ice, they automatically close. So I'm by myself. I had a feeling it would happen because of the winter warning, but he said it's because he just wasn't feeling up to it. So it's okay because I have I have a topic that I've been wanting to do, and I thought about, cutting this one in on him last minute because I wanted to talk about Mardi Gras. I hate Mardi Gras. All right, that's it. See you next time on Saturday morning. Oh, no, I'm kidding. No, I don't like Mardi Gras. Not a Mardi Gras fan. Grew up in Mississippi, so Mardi Gras wasn't a big thing. Moved to Louisiana. It was suddenly a big thing all of a sudden. Now everyone knows what Mardi Gras is, but back then, growing up, we didn't. At least I didn't know about it. Me and my brothers didn't until we came here, and never liked it. Never enjoyed it. As you know, I do my yearly Mardi Gras parade. Where I mock the parade. You think I'm having fun, but I'm not. And people screaming and fighting over beads. That's what it is. And paper cups. I mean, not paper cups, plastic cups and little cheap frisbees. And I don't get it. I still don't get it. I think the colors are ugly. I think standing out for a parade at night when it's freezing and cold and raining sometimes is a terrible idea. I think it is. Not a fan of any of the whatever the traditions would be on that. Not a fan. But not a particular fan of king cake or anything like that, and don't enjoy the season. Unlike a lot of Louisianians who do enjoy them some Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is like, to me, a trash holiday because the season sucks, the weather sucks, so let's make up this holiday that has ugly colors. Purple, green, and gold. Really don't like them. But bah humbug with me and Mardi Gras. Now, needless to say, I am in the minority here, of course. A lot of people love Mardi Gras. That schools get out half a week or a full week, depending on where you're at. Colleges get out for this. I didn't mind that. What else was there? People save their Christmas tree and do not put it away until after Mardi Gras because suddenly the thing, and I see more and more people doing this now, they turn their Christmas tree into a Mardi Gras tree on 12th night, which is January 5th. And kind of like the pre-kickoff to Mardi Gras season. And so celebrating it all up to the final big day. I even worked with someone who told me, serious, straight face, this was his favorite holiday of the year, better than Christmas. He loved Mardi Gras. I don't know what he did for Mardi Gras every year, but I guess he had a lot of fun. But Mardi Gras to him was the best, time ever. I guess because one big block party or whatnot. Hey, do you know what the best time to go to New Orleans is? Not any time, not during Mardi Gras. That's the best time to go. That's the best time to go. During Mardi Gras, everyone here will tell you don't go. It's not really that worth it. I mean, some people are like, yeah, but they're morons. Don't listen to morons. Not a big deal. So I thought, and I was going to ask Mike if he could come up with some. I don't know if he could on the spot. So I'm kind of, if he's not here, that's okay. I was thinking about filming this on my own anyway. I did ask the missus, but she passed on this one because I don't know if Mardi Gras is the biggest thing for her either. I mean, she enjoys it, but I don't know if she could come up with top 5 memories. So I'm going to give you my top 5 memories for Mardi Gras. Yes, I have memories here. And they're not all bad. In fact, let me see. None of these are bad. They're fun stories. So first off, I want to just mention this one. We never got Mardi Gras breaks growing up until I came here. And I remember it was the first time I heard of a Mardi Gras break was when I was in college. And they gave us 3 days off for Mardi Gras. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, leading up to Mardi Gras. And I was like, wait, what? I didn't know what it was. I didn't get it. Mardi Gras was never celebrated up. If it was, it wasn't in any place. We didn't have a parade or anything back when I was growing up. So we got the parade years later, and now we have 2, sadly. Sadly, there's 2 of them now. 2 crews that crew on different that do their parades on different weekends and technically different cities, even though they're next to each other. But didn't know about the Mardi Gras break. So I thought that was really cool because everyone was excited about Mardi Gras. Me, I was just excited to have a few days off. I did nothing for Mardi Gras. I think down south you could, before New Orleans, Baton Rouge, place like that, you could do some stuff. In fact, oh my gosh, that should have been a memory. I went down over Mardi Gras break to hang out with Bruce's parents. Bruce's brother from Prince of the Universe, Will and I were friends before Bruce and I were friends. But later on, Bruce and I became better friends. I'm still friends with Will. I mean, he's a good friend of mine. And Will, I think, had invited me down that weekend or something. I can't remember what. Maybe I was in, oh no, this is after college. After college. It was after college. Fresh out of college, I'd become a deputy assessor at the assessor's office, which is where I was working at, and I was going to get my certification. So I got really sick with a bad sinus infection. It was really in bad shape. Probably one of the sickest moments I can ever remember being. Like, I was just messed up. And I could not, I bet I bombed the test. I apologized to the teacher. I said, look, I just feel awful, awful. And he knew I was awful. I was in bad shape. But I didn't know I had a sinus infection. Well, I mean, I was having trouble seeing, breathing. I'm blowing out, blood, and stuff, coughing up blood too. It was a sinus infection. It just gotten too bad. Whatever it was, some viral infection or whatever, I just let it get worse, from bad to worse. Well, I tried to watch. I knew I couldn't drive home right then. I said, well, let me watch a movie. And I remember what I watched. I watched Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon in the theater. It was a good movie, but the screen kept getting blurry for me. And, I was so tired still. I was like, man, this movie is not getting me, getting me stirred up, ready to go on a drive. So I said, I'm going to go. I was in Lafayette. And I said, you know what? The closest place is Baton Rouge, where Will is. And Will had invited me over a while back, and I told him I probably wouldn't go, but I did. And I remember this was Mardi Gras weekend because, while the story's kind of changing from number 5, it may go up higher. This story should actually be up higher now that I think about it. But went in there, and Bruce's dad, well, Bruce is a pharmacist, so was his dad. And I think that night I was very embarrassed. I didn't want anyone to know. I was feeling really awful. And I remember one time I sneezed or coughed at the same time, and all this blood came out, and I was like, oh gosh. So I just rolled into a gas station, covered my mouth, because I didn't want anyone seeing all the blood everywhere and freaking out, and just went in the sink and, kind of washed myself off. But like I said, bad shape. Finally got to William's house, told them I was very tired and wanted to go to sleep, just to avoid, sneezing, hacking, coughing around them. They said, okay. So I went to bed. Well, that night I'm sneezing, hacking, coughing, whatever. And I wake up and I feel a little bit better, still bad, but I'm trying to brave it out. And so I get up and I go into the kitchen and I'm eating breakfast. Miss Huber had made me breakfast, Bruce's mom. And I remember she comes running back into the kitchen. She went, what is wrong? She grabs me, grabs my shoulder. She goes, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? Honey, what's wrong? What's wrong? I was like, nothing. I said, I just got a little bit of a cold or something. I'm just trying to play out. She went, no, there's blood everywhere in your bed. And supposedly all that coughing and sneezing, I was coughing and sneezing up blood, and I totally destroyed the sheets and pillow. I didn't even realize it when I woke up that morning, but it must have been everywhere because it really freaked her out because she thought something was really wrong with me, and it was. I mean, I had this big viral infection. And so I remember all the doctors, this is so weird. This is so weird that this was a thing back then in Baton Rouge. The local little hospitals that were there, it was in a small town. It wasn't Baton Rouge, it was a small town outside of Baton Rouge. And they had their little local community health centers or, kind of hospitals were closed for Mardi Gras. If you wanted to get help, you had to go further into town to Baton Rouge where hospitals were open. But some of the smaller little med centers were closed, which now I don't think would happen today. But back then, it was early 2000s. So, anything goes, baby. And so I remember Mr. Beal, Bruce's dad, got on the phone with the doctor. You probably can't do this. I don't know if it was illegal back then. If it was, it's okay. He's retired now. It's done. But anyway, he got on the phone with the doctor, got a prescription from the doctor over the phone, approved one and then sent it out to me. I think they can still do that. I think they can call in orders over the phone. I believe so. But without checking me out, Mr. Bill gave my symptoms. The doctor concurred with Mr. Bill what it was, and I got my first Z-Pack. Never had a Z-Pack before. If you ever had a Z-Pack, that thing is a miracle worker because you use 5 pills, and by the time you take the second pill, you're feeling like Superman. Like you feel like excellent. But you have to take all 5 pills to make sure the virus goes away. And he told me that. I was like, yeah, I'm going to take all 5. It's probably not going to help me because I'm dying here. And I took the first one, still felt bad. Took the second one, went to bed, woke up the next morning. I was like, holy cow, I could run a marathon right now. I mean, I was like completely healed. And I was like, well, it's a good thing he told me that because I would not have finished off taking them. So I went ahead and took the other 3, but I felt like I didn't need it because I was good. So Z-Packs were my friend. Needless to say, at one point in my life, not too long ago, I kept a little cache of Z-Packs for a rainy day. Never used them. They all expired. This is a couple years back. And they all expired. Because I thought, well, maybe one day I'll need a Z-Pack again. But I've never had a Z-Pack since. Never had the need for one. Anyway, that was a longer story than I thought it would be. So let's go on to number 4, which that story I just told you is definitely going to go up higher on my list. But for right now, I'll just go to my number 4, which was king cakes. I thought all king cakes here came with cream cheese. I thought it was the stupidest idea that whoever had the baby had to buy the next cake. And I didn't want to buy a cake because I thought king cakes were awful and tasted awful. Now, this is in the probably late 90s when I first experienced, I think I was in college still, when I experienced a king cake. And this was, again, at the Hubers. And I hate cream cheese, so I never ordered one. I never got one again. I didn't want to eat one either. And now they don't put babies in it, because choking hazard or whatnot, so no fun. They put the baby on top of it. It's really dumb. Anyway, so I was like, okay, well, I hate king cake. That's it. And I think it's too sweet. I still think they're too sweet. I haven't had king cake in years. And I remember 14 years ago, actually, when I first came to my job, they bought a king cake. And they said, Matt, you want some king cake? I said, no, it's all right. He said, you don't like king cake? I said, no, I hate cream cheese. They said, well, not all of them have cream cheese in it. This one just is cinnamon and whatever. And I was like, what? And I tried it. It's like, oh, okay. It's still too sweet, though. It's like all sugar. It's all sugar. It's just, I just don't like it. Some people love king cakes, and you get the Gabinos, I don't know what they're called, but you get all these fancy ones from New Orleans shipped in and stuff like that, or the local places will make their own king cake. My sister owns a bakery. She makes her own king cake, and they're all special and whatnot. But to me, it's always too sweet. It just doesn't taste that good. Believe me, you're not missing out if you've never had king cake before. Just take a wad of icing, slap it on a croissant, and stuff it with cream cheese or whatever or stuff it with pure sugar, the croissant, and then bite into it. Voila, king cake. Sugar on top of sugar built around something that looks similar to a croissant. That's not very, lovely image there I'm painting there. But anyway, obviously my previous story would pop king cake. King cake's not the biggest story, but I just remember that was funny because I don't have that much experience with it. Number 3 is a good one. The missus loves the Mardi Gras parade. She's always loved the Mardi Gras parade. She never wants to miss one. I think she only had to miss one once. I think. No, 2. I think. I don't remember now that I think about it. I think she went to one. Yeah, she went to the one when she was pregnant with the girls. But the one when she was pregnant with the second pair of twins, she had to sit at home because she was, 2 weeks prior, and it just wasn't. She was ready to suit up and go. I think she made it out the door and made it like 2 blocks and went, I can't do this. Because we walked from my parents' house, which is, a good, I'd say half mile maybe from where the parade is. But my wife made the first 2 blocks. She went, I can't do it. So I turned around, walked her back, and then ran back and caught up with everyone else. So I think that's the only one that she missed. Well, dang. Now that I think about it, I think she was there. I can't remember. Maybe it was the 2019 one. Either way, doesn't matter. But there was one year before we had kids that she was in the parade. We have a friend who runs 2 stores or 2 restaurants here in town, and they always buy a float. One of the restaurants always buys a float, and she mans it. Well, my wife is a big fan of the coffee shop. We're friends with the lady, and she said, hey, Megan, would you like to be on a float? And Megan's like, yeah. And supposedly being on the float's the best thing in the world. Do I ever want to be on a Mardi Gras float? Would that change my opinion? No. No, it wouldn't. I'd still hate Mardi Gras. But my wife had the best time, and she was throwing out beads and having fun, and she told me which side she was going to be on, and it was the wrong side because she switched sides later on. So I never even saw her. You know, I saw the float. I was like, where is she? You know, but later on she was on the other side, she said. Well, it started raining. And I mean, when I say rain, it was torrential downpour, right? And so it's raining. Idiots are still out there catching beads. This is toward the end, thank goodness. I'm running to my car because I don't care anymore. And we had umbrellas because we kind of knew it was going to rain. And I make it to the car, and I mean, it is just pouring down. So I drive to the end of the parade. I see a few floats. All the floats are parked in there, and her float parks in there too. So any minute now, she should be there. And so I'm waiting. Seriously, 30 minutes have gone by, and she still hasn't left. Now it's still raining down. I say, well, maybe she forgot to bring her umbrella, because she was supposed to bring an umbrella and take it with her, but she may have left it in, you know, she may have, I don't know, forgot it somewhere or left it inside before she went on the float. I don't know. But I thought, well, maybe she doesn't have it and she's waiting for me. Now, she wasn't answering the cell phone either. I kept calling her and she wasn't answering. I was like, well, I see the float, and I see a lot of people got off, and she wasn't one of them. But there's still some other people inside the float I can see. So she's probably talking to him. But I said, goodness gracious, 30 minutes. And I think about the 45-minute mark, I got out and walked up to it and was just, I felt odd walking onto the float. Plus, I hate Mardi Gras. No, I'm kidding. I don't care about that part. But I felt odd walking onto the float and asking if she was there. So I just waited out, and I was like, do I hear her? But it was raining so hard. And so I'm checking my time. I'm texting her and everything. And then finally, an hour and 15 minutes, she texted me back. She went, yeah, I'm here. And I was like, okay, well, I'm waiting back out in the car. She said, yeah, we're just talking. I'll be there. And it was an hour and a half later. It wasn't that long. I said, well, hurry up. I kind of badgered her. So about an hour and a half later, she finally goes. And, of course, they had to finish off whatever liquor bottle they were doing. And she and that girl just bonded. My wife had the best time ever. I don't even know if she remembers that story. But she had a good time, and she always wanted to go back. And to be honest, we're still friends with the lady. So I think she's welcome back whenever. Just my wife's been really busy with kids. But, I mean, if we would have, I guess, asked ahead of time, she probably would have let my wife go on there. But that was my wife's best memory. That would have been her number one, probably. My number three. Was it better than the other one? No. I'd still put my first story at number 3. Would I keep it? No. My first story may go all the way to number 1. Is that my favorite story? Nah, it's not. Nah, I'll let my first story rest at number 3. Number 2 is more of a childhood memory. Now, I said I never knew about Mardi Gras. However, as a kid, I went to Mardi Gras a lot, and I never even knew it. Mobile, Alabama celebrates Mardi Gras. In fact, there's a big rivalry between Mobile and New Orleans of who celebrated Mardi Gras first. And I don't remember all the details, but Mobile has some kind of early published reference to Mardi Gras parade, whereas New Orleans just says, no, it's been a tradition for X amount of years. They don't have the solid proof that Mobile has, but they can say, well, yeah, but it's been there for years, according to something else, some other reference they have, reference material. But it's dated later than the thing that Mobile has dated. So there's been I wouldn't say it's a kind rivalry, but and Mobile used to be the secret place where you would go to get the New Orleans experience without being in trashy New Orleans, because Mobile's beautiful. It's a beautiful town. And where they do it, down Government Boulevard, is, my wife will tell you, one of the most beautiful streets in the U.S. I'm not even playing. I promise you right now, it'd be in my wife's top 3 most beautiful places in the world. I believe it in a heartbeat. Government Boulevard, because that's where all the old, grand, big houses are, in Mobile, Alabama, right there in downtown. It is really nice. They got big trees that kind of meet in the middle and cover up all the road across there, so it's always shaded. You're going under trees at all times. Every signage has to be, there's no standing pole signs. They have to be on brick, and they have to be, all the fast food restaurants have to look nice, like it's a really nice looking McDonald's and KFC and Jack in the Box or whatever's there, because they're on Government Boulevard. But my wife I'd always drive my wife and my grandmother down Government Boulevard every time we went to visit, because they like looking at all the houses again and again and again and again. But regards to that, that's where they do Mardi Gras. And man, after Mardi Gras, there are beads in those trees for weeks. I mean, tons of beads. Tons of beads. They throw out tons of beads, coins, everything. And I mean, it is the floats are Mardi Gras, New Orleans style grade. But now it's not a secret anymore. Everyone knows that if you don't want to go to New Orleans, but you want the big New Orleans experience, you go to Mobile. And now Mobile is just a madhouse. It's not the place to go for Mardi Gras, because it's just insane. I know that because we went down there not realizing, because I don't keep up with Mardi Gras, I didn't realize it was Mardi Gras weekend. When me and my wife went down there, I booked a room, but they bumped me because I didn't check in on time, because we were watching a movie. I missed my check-in by 2 hours, so they just went ahead and just got rid of my room because they needed extra room. Well, they couldn't do that, so they had to find me a room. All they could find me was I got, before anyone thinks I was living high, half of a penthouse, because I don't know what happened, but they had half of a penthouse available. They blocked off half of it. They closed the doors to half the house, but the other half we got. The house without a bed, might I mention. So we got the fold-away sofa and living room and a kitchen or something. And my wife was just like, oh, so nice, because it was all free, because they felt bad for bumping my reserve, because they should not have bumped my reservation, and they did. But I didn't know it was Mardi Gras. I never would have done it. So, but regardless, it's gotten insane. As a kid, though, I didn't know what it was, and we would go, and it was fun. Not because the little necklaces, we didn't want those, but they throw out the coins, and they were purple. They were plastic little coins, but good little coins. Purple, gold, and green. Now, I don't know why. I hated the purple and green ones, but I tried to collect all the gold ones, obviously, because they're gold, and it was like money. And we'd me and my brothers would just collect all the gold coins we could. And every once in a while, there'd be a green and purple in there, because my aunt and uncle would pick it up and put it in there, because they know we liked collecting the coins. And so I was like, this is kind of cool. They give away toys. And they were giving away toys. They throw toys out, too, and everything. And it was a big deal. I never knew that was Mardi Gras, though. I mean, that's how stupid I guess I was as a kid, but I never knew. And then when I was telling my dad I've never heard about Mardi Gras when we came to Louisiana, he said, well, no, actually, you have. It's at your grandmother's house. I was like, oh, did not know that. So Dad was used to Mardi Gras. Dad's kind of a fan of Mardi Gras, even though he did not have king cake growing up. But they did always celebrate Mardi Gras around his house. So, and he likes going to the parade. Now, as of this podcast, I am 1,000% sure Dad will not be at the Mardi Gras parade. He's still getting over a little bit of a sickness, not in the best of health, so he's probably going to sit this one out. But in the past, he has always been there, and he enjoys a Mardi Gras parade, I guess. But those were fond memories at my grandmother's. I remember that was the first time we ate at Popeye's Chicken, and I got to try some spicy chicken. They wouldn't let me try it, but I accidentally got a piece. They thought they gave me a plain, they gave me a spicy, and I knew it was spicy, and I felt like it was super hot, but it probably wasn't. I was just putting that in my head. But I remember we got Popeyes afterwards, which we never went out for chicken. You fried your own chicken. But it was always a special time at my grandparents'. And we went, when we were younger, we went quite frequently. And I guess that's because my dad was like, hey, let's go to Mobile and do the Mardi Gras parade. And we stopped that tradition very early in my life. Probably, well, it was probably 9, 10, 11, 12, before I moved to Louisiana. When we moved to Louisiana, we didn't go anymore. So probably 12 years old was the last time I celebrated one of those Mardi Gras in Mobile, and I'll never celebrate Mardi Gras in Mobile again. Even if I'm visiting my aunt, who's the only one out there left. I don't even know if I have I may have a cousin out there too. But either way, that's memory number 2. Finally, memory number 1. This is a great one. I hate Mardi Gras. I can't say that enough. And Mardi Gras parade had ended. This is back when I was single, And so I'd start off with my family, which it was just me and my brothers and sisters. I don't think anyone was married. Well, my second brother could have been married. But then I'd kind of wander down the street and kind of say hello to all my friends. So I'd be walking down that. It was more of a social thing for me. I was like, hey, just walk down there, see who I know, and talk to them. Some of the police officers I knew back then too, so I'd stop on the streets and talk to them and hang out with them. And it was a social thing for me. I hated the parade. Well, after it was all over, I am blocks away from, I'm farther away down the street from my parents' house than we were when we started. And it just ended, and I didn't realize it because I was talking to my friends like, oh, rats. So I'm next to this restaurant. I have to pee really bad. So I go into the restaurant to take a leak, and there is a line a mile long for the men's room, and it is not moving. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am going to explode. And then I notice they're both just single bathrooms is all they are. The bathroom to the ladies' room is wide open, and there is no one there. And no one's going in. No ladies, I guess, had to tinkle. And I thought, well, let's do this. And so I went to the ladies' restroom real quick, pissed, came out. By the time I had come out, the owner was sitting there and she went, leave. And she was mad. I was like, there was no one here. There's no one here. Maybe I'm a woman. I don't know. That wouldn't work back then, but today I guess it would. But she told me to leave. She was mad. And that was the first time I got kicked out of that restaurant. Now, I say first time because, yes, there were other times. I got successfully kicked out of that restaurant 3 times. Second time, we were throwing a party. I was with DirecTV at the time, and we were throwing a birthday party for someone. And the birthday boy had gotten drunk, and it was my turn to order shots. I don't drink. So I ordered shots for everyone, and she said, well, I'm not giving him anything else. I was like, well, no, we're not giving that dude anything. I said, he's falling out on the floor. I said, this is for the rest of my team. And she went, nope, I'm cutting you off. Y'all need to leave. And I was like, ma'am, I said, look, no one's going to feed, his name was Eddie. I said, no one's giving Eddie any more. I said, he's had enough, and I'm going to drive him home. I don't drink. I said, but it's my turn to buy rounds for the guys, so I'm doing it. And she went, no, you're not, listen to me. You need to leave now. And I was like, wow, what a witch, And so we, and then they eventually, of course, my buddy's like, no, we ain't leaving, throwing a fit. And then, of course, we all got kicked out. And then the third time we got kicked, and these people are total snobs. They're total snobs. They have good burgers, a good atmosphere, I should say, like an Irish pub is what they are. But they're garbage. I haven't gone to them in over a decade, and I'll never go back, I don't think. They're just super snobs. But the last time I went, I remember I was sitting there with maybe a young troupe theater group. I know they weren't 21. They were 18, 19, whatever. They were under 21, between 17 and 20 maybe. And we had all sat down, and I'd sat down with them because they had invited me to come with them. And we all got burgers, because that's the thing you do. We ordered them at 7. Didn't get them till 10 because it took 3 hours for them to get their burger orders to us because they're jerks. And when they did, then she goes, then as we start to eat, she goes, the lady comes back into it was a back room. She went, hey, y'all all need to leave. Anyone who's under 21 has to go now. And they're like, we just got our burgers. She went, then take them to go because you can't stay here. I said, ma'am. I said, no, she goes, we should have ordered them earlier. That's what she said. I said, ma'am. I stood up and said, look, and I told her I was here. She wanted me to show her ID because she was like, you need to go get out of here too. I said, I'm over 21. She went, okay, you can stay, but they can go. I said, ma'am, they ordered at 7. Your kitchen took 3 hours to get the burgers to us. Let them eat their burgers, and then we'll all leave. No, they got to go now. And just like was throwing them out, like emptying the baskets, dumping them into like a little, I don't even know if she gave them containers. Like just let them carry the little napkin that it came with, the burger and fries spilling out. I mean, just really ugly woman. Ugly in the face too, but ugly on the inside. And I was like, yeah, screw you. And I mean, I started chewing her. She went, you can go too. And I was like, all right, fine. And that wasn't the last time I was there. I did go one time to see some good friends of mine who wanted to go. And I hadn't seen her in forever. And she wanted me to meet her husband, and I wanted to meet him. So that was the last time I went. And I think that was, maybe 10, 11 years ago, maybe 12. I can't remember. But other than that, I've never been back. So there you go. Hey, fun stories about my childhood from Mardi Gras. let me ask you, chat. Did you, chat, listen to me. Listeners, did you ever celebrate Mardi Gras? Do you have any fond memories? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you not care about it? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next week on another Saturday morning Samoflange.